Welcome to my channel. Today we are painting Northern Lights with watercolors. I'm first going to tape my Ayush Paper 270 GSM 100% cotton paper on all the four sides to avoid paper buckling. I have mentioned the supplies I have used in the description box below. First, I'm going to wet the entire paper with clean water. You can use a big flat brush and move the brush all over the paper multiple times to make sure the paper soaks up all the water. I did this for almost 7 to 8 minutes. You should get a nice and even sheen of water on it, just like this. I'm using only 3 colors to paint this: turquoise blue, blue lake, and bright blue. Now before I begin applying paint to the paper, I quickly apply another layer of water on the paper just to ensure it has enough moisture in it. Starting with bright blue, I'm applying loose strokes of color on my page. I'm using a round brush for this. As you move downwards, make the line slightly thinner. Play around with some zigzag shapes. Use water to lighten the intensity of your color. I'm mixing turquoise blue and blue lake to build up the darkness in the painting. Switch between thick and thin brush strokes to add movement and variety to the painting. Since we are working with wet on wet technique, do not worry if the colors merge into each other. Let them move around and have fun while painting. Wet on wet technique is a very simple technique where wet paint is applied onto wet paper. I'm deliberately trying to keep the top part of the painting darker than the lower half, as I want the area around the horizon to be the brightest. Now let's start working with the lower area of our painting. This is going to be near to the horizon line where we will be painting pine trees later. Using a broad flat brush, I'm now lifting some color from my paper. This will allow me to build in some highlights. I went over the colors while they were still wet. I moved the brush in a zigzag motion. Clean your brush well after you lift off the paint. You don't want to add any more colors to the highlight area. I'm using my hair dryer to speeden up the drying of my painting. You can also allow the painting to just dry naturally. To paint the pine trees, I'm using the tip of my round brush. I'm making them with all the leftover paint in my palette. There are two rules while you're painting pine trees, especially in northern lights. First, the farther the trees, the smaller they should be. Second, the trees which are away from the viewer would be slightly lighter than the ones which are closer to the viewer. The simplest way to make pine trees is to first make a straight line and then add random strokes to it. I'm just going to speeden up the video now so that I don't bore you. With some clean water on my brush, I'm blending out the bottom of the pine trees. I just want them to merge out in the background. They shouldn't look distinctively different. Now, as the last step, I have used white gouache paint to add some stars to the painting. I tap one brush over the other brush to sprinkle some white color on my painting. Now we just need to remove the tape from all the four sides. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial.